Hi, it's Lee and welcome to the Test Economist. Okay, I'm not going to lie, it's not the easiest watching the stock drop now, especially since we've broken $200. Tesla's really testing investors right now. Elon's putting us through a lot too. He's lost a lot more money than we have. Perhaps he is extra confident about Tesla to be giving it this much of a stress test. I'd rather be talking about the economics and future of this company and products, but I'm feeling the effects of the stock price dropping, and that is more on my mind. I can't really ignore the elephant in the room. So I thought it best to address this and talk about it. Personally, I've probably had enough of these great buying opportunities now and would like to see some positive news that starts pointing the stock in the opposite direction. Let's hope the semi-truck deliveries are on schedule. I think that would be good to see and witness that they actually made such a vehicle with these specifications. People still doubt it is possible to get that much range in a fully loaded semi-truck. Seeing will be believing and will help investor confidence. See that Elon can achieve what he sets out to, even if it takes a few years later than he initially stated. Or a new location announced that would bolster some confidence, showing that Tesla are looking to expand. The announcement seems to be taking a while. We were expecting it to be this year. However, not announcing a new location doesn't mean we won't see any new factories. It looks like something big is happening in Berlin, and there seems to be continual expansion in Texas. Tesla have the product people want, and they can manufacture the product at a low cost that gives them an insane margin. They just need to make more of them. And they're sorting out the supplies as a result. Of course, mainly battery cells, and yes, 4682. But China is making a lot of LFP cells. They're growing exponentially, and Tesla can pay more for LFP cells than any other EV manufacturer, as Tesla is the only one who can make a profit from them and get the most range out of them. Not only that, Tesla can make massive purchase orders because they need so many of them, as they are the largest EV manufacturer and consume the most gigawatt hours a year of cells. And not just with vehicles, but energy too, of course. This gives them all sorts of advantages and buying power, and companies like CATL plan on continually expanding into this exponentially growing industry, but they need Tesla's massive orders to grow the fastest. Yes, there's lots of big rewards coming for Tesla shareholders who can wait long enough. Although I'm still getting comments about the real competition hasn't even begun yet. Seems like an odd comment. So odd, I'm not even sure who they're referring to. There is no competition. No one is taking Tesla's market share either, which others also still comment. EVs are a growing industry in the auto industry. Tesla is taking ICE market share, and we see legacy auto sales dropping, whilst Tesla's sales increase. And Tesla is still limited by production. They have so much more market share to take from ICE still, growing exponentially at a crazy 50% a year. Legacy must be terrified of this. They can't make profitable EVs, and they have to give car dealers a cut on anything sold too. They aren't going to have enough battery supply to replace their ICE production, and will likely run into shortages like lithium, just like Tesla has already discovered. Remember how much further Tesla is ahead of everyone, how much longer they've been at this, and how much more focused they've been on EVs, without diseconomies of scale or internal company politics getting in the way, nor a profitable, established business that needs to be cannibalized by a not profitable business. Tough job. I can't see the likes of Ford getting into the lithium mining and refining business. Tesla are looking ahead to what is required next decade, or possibly even further out, and making sure that all their ducks are in a row as far out as that. And they've been planning this for a long time. There are legacy companies out there still not even sure if electric is the future. Tesla is a better car that costs less to own than the ICE competition, and will keep selling as many as they can make. The more they make, the lower the costs, meaning they can keep reducing prices, meaning there's more demand at lower prices. So Tesla make more vehicles and further reduce prices. Rinse and repeat. In addition to that, Teslas are hugely profitable. So they have more than enough money to invest in technology, adding to the value and further reducing cost, with the entire company focused on ways of reducing costs, parts and processes, refining the same models, becoming continually more efficient in every way. Of course, reducing weight too, which is an important aspect for EVs. Then the Chinese EVs too. Well, they're also failing to make a profit. And when they sell overseas, they're using car dealer networks too. But from my experience, these Chinese cars aren't even as good as legacy ICE vehicles when it comes to their driving experience. Sure, a BYD may be fully loaded with things like radar cruise control, lane control, etc. but so was a Mercedes from 13 years ago. This is not the latest technology. They don't have any autopilot or FSD. On top of that, the local Chinese economy is not looking good. I don't think many of these EVs will survive. Possibly BYD, but only because it's funding its loss with its mobile phone handset business. I think there's a chance the CCP may be more concerned with having to bail out banks than EV startups. Reality is kicking in. On top of that, the worse demand gets in China, then it's likely that the lower Tesla's prices will get, making it even tougher for the competition to compete. The tide is coming out everywhere, and it's a riptide. Having a business in this economy that is losing a ton of money with no signs of profitability is going to be tough for anyone. However, the EV industry is likely to continue its growth even in this economy, so we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Anyway, I was just talking about making EVs and manufacturing, which is something Legacy do have experience in, despite Tesla beating them at that already. Tesla manufacture vehicles better than anyone else in the world, and they only hit volume production 5 years ago. This is what Legacy have experience in, and Tesla have destroyed them at their own game. However, Tesla is much more than a manufacturing company. Tesla has more experience in other areas than Legacy, like AI. So if Tesla destroy Legacy at their own game, what chance does Legacy have in Tesla's game? We haven't heard about anyone coming close to Tesla's FSD lately. We don't hear about Mobileye anymore, or even much about Waymo. Few people bring up the amount of data Tesla have collected on FSD and continue to exponentially. That is still a thing. Tesla's FSD is one serious moat. The competition have now been at EVs for some time, and FSD. They're getting nowhere. Tesla keeps getting better and better, and we're about to see a step change when 4680s hit volume production and FSD is safer than a human. Tesla is so far ahead of everyone. It's tough now. It's all very well believing in the company and products, but it becomes harder when the market disagrees with you so much. But look to the future. Really try and envision the future in the next few years. Don't you think it is now abundantly clear that the world is moving to electric? They used to say as soon as batteries will hit $100 a kilowatt hour, the cost of electric vehicles will be at parity with ICE. Well, if you include total cost of ownership, it doesn't even need to be $100. But don't forget, Elon just said 4680s will be $70 a kilowatt hour. That's a lot less than parity, not even factoring in the other advances in addition to that. And what if partly what Elon is doing right now is just one big publicity stunt? Elon said in the past, whenever Tesla is mentioned in the news, whether it's the competition coming or even an FSD fatality, then when it comes to buying an EV, the consumer can only recall the name Tesla. It keeps increasing their brand awareness. No such thing as bad publicity, at least to an extent. Elon's even said that Twitter has never been so popular than it is now. Sure, it may hurt in the short term as the publicity seems negative, but long term, people are fickle and forget the specifics. But just remember the word Tesla, Tesla, Tesla so many times, that when it comes to buying an EV, that's what they remember. And although Elon is now telling people to vote Republican, and that is allegedly affecting sales from the Democrats, who are Tesla's core customer base, supposedly, well, we're now hearing that suddenly Republicans are starting to buy Teslas and invest in the company. Perhaps in the long run, this is Elon's strategy to appeal to both sides. And as for Inflation Reduction Act, I believe that was bipartisan anyway. I personally don't think it has that much to do with climate change and more to do with lowering foreign dependency on energy and transport. I mean, if they wanted to make a difference on climate change with $1 trillion, that money would have a lot more impact in developing nations. All right, well, that was what I had to tell myself in order to cope with these losses. Of course, your reinforcing comments help me too. It's ugly out there, but sometimes it's good to remind ourselves what we've invested in. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.